United States Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, has paid a visit to Colombia, where she announced the United States will now provide additional aid to refugees from neighboring Venezuela. But Haley wasn't merely interested in humanitarian work. She also used this visit to call for regime change there. Her comments came just days following a failed assassination attempt against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Washington has yet to denounce that botched plot, and RT correspondent Anya Parampil brings us the latest on this story.
Haley announced Wednesday that the United States will increase aid for Venezuelan refugees by $9 million through the United States Agency for International Development, or USAID. Speaking from the city of Cucuta, which borders Venezuela, Haley called on countries in the region to bring about regime change in Caracas.
This is a time to be loud. This is a time for the regional countries that are dealing with the migration, that are suffering from the migration as well, to step up and condemn Maduro and tell him it's time for him to go.
Haley also said Maduro needed to be, quote, dealt with, despite the fact he was democratically elected for a second term earlier this year. Though Haley appears to care for suffering Venezuelans, the Trump administration has only intensified sanctions targeting the country, sanctions which have plummeted the economy and contributed to the migrant crisis. Critics point out USAID has historically served as a cover for U.S. regime change operations around the world. Time to coincide with Haley's announcement, on Wednesday, USAID held an event in Washington, D.C. to discuss Venezuela. A newsletter titled "After Maduro, Meet 10 People Who Will One Day Rebuild Venezuela" was handed out at the presentation. The event comes at a curious time, considering it was only on Saturday that Maduro survived an assassination attempt. A rebel group known as the Flannel Soldiers, which has a history of targeting the government with violence, claimed responsibility for the attack. Venezuelan authorities quickly arrested multiple suspects and announced on Wednesday that it was seeking the extradition of an American named Osman Delgado Toboski, who lives in Miami, for allegedly financing the plot. Maduro says his government now has sufficient proof that Colombia backed the assassins, including knowledge of the location where they trained. Caracas also says the conspirators were offered $50 million and residency in the United States for their work. Bogotá has officially denied involvement. On Tuesday, a former Venezuelan city police chief and opposition activist publicly claimed previous knowledge of the attack. Salvador Lucchese told Reuters, quote, "We had an objective, and in the moment, we were not able to materialize it 100%, vowing the armed struggle will continue." Interestingly enough, though, Lucchese spoke with Reuters from Bogotá, where he is on a trip with other opposition figures. Meanwhile, from Miami, right-wing political commentator Jaime Bailey says he also knew of the plot.
What I heard was they told me on Saturday, we are going to kill Maduro with drones. We have tested the drones in Caracas. They work, and I told him, do it. This is a conspiracy, and more will come, whose authors are all former military and former Venezuelan police.
With the media and political establishment in the United States constantly fixated on allegations of Russian meddling in U.S. democracy, one has to wonder how figures like Haley can openly call for the removal of a democratically elected government in Caracas without even a hint of irony. In Washington, Anya Parampil, RT.
Meanwhile, the news outlet VenezuelaNalysis.com tweeted this morning that their Facebook page was shut down, writing, "It's a naked attempt to block our grassroots coverage of the on-the-ground situation in Venezuela."
We are the only outlet in English that covers grassroots movements in Venezuela consistently and tries to provide this coverage as steadfastly as possible. And we've been doing so for the last 15 years. And I think that our team is aware that, you know, for the corporate media and for other powers that be, our page and our work is in many ways doing the work that they wish not happen. So, you know, the timing of the unpublished page and also just the coverage that we provide sheds light on the situation.
And this comes in the aftermath of both the explosive drone assassination attempt of the Venezuelan president, as well as the social media crackdown being waged against Alex Jones.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.